marketing yourself. So some of the written tools: resume, cover letter, thank you notes, business cards, social networking, we talked about LinkedIn, personal websites or blogs.
When you're marketing yourself, you can use those additional tools that listed here, and you probably heard a lot about those tools. I wasn't talking about those tools in the very beginning because those tools basically talking kind of about your past, but you definitely are going to use them in your job search activities. I was talking more in the beginning about this plan because this plan allows you to look into the future, and that's what I want us to do, is to look into the future rather than just concentrating on our past. But obviously, when you look for work, you will need to have those tools, those written tools that listed here.
So all of you have a resume. There are many opinions about resumes. Everyone's going to give you their opinion. I look at it like everything's constructive feedback. The more opinions, the better. But I also caution you to not read too much into it. There are guidelines and there are opinions. And some of the guidelines, a good reference, are perhaps some of the books or search on the internet for resumes. There are resumes out there. Pull words from other resumes. How many pages should your resume be? 1 to 2. It depends. A lot of these are going to be, it depends as well. Certain industries may have a list of your continuing education that could add pages. Keep in mind, how long do you think the employer is looking at your resume?
15 seconds.
Yeah, good. You took the class. So that's pretty fast. And your resume is an outline. You're skimming through it. You should have things highlighted, bolded, underlined, and bullet points. It's not intended to be a thick read. It's really fast. Managers make their first impression in the 15 seconds. And they need to see your skills. They need to see your expertise and your experience. And based upon your work history, that is going to determine what format you're going to use your resume. Functional is, people usually don't know about functional, but it's a skills resume where you put your skills not in order to your past work history. And that's beneficial if your best work experience happened 10 years ago. Perhaps moving the order around. So I'm not going to go into the huge depth of that, but invite you to attend the workshop. A lot of people go into the chronological resume, and that's kind of the last job first and so on and so forth. A key with the resume, the best should be at the top, and because it's 15 seconds. So you have to ask yourself, what is your job target? It should be customized per every job description. And so you may have a lot of resumes on your computer, and it's wise to create saved folders with the job titles in it so you know how to sort them out, because you're going to have a lot of resumes saved on your computer. Focus on the skills the employer needs and what you can offer and provide based on a job description. So you're doing research. You're referencing their job description. You're customizing, starting sentences with PAR statements. PAR is problem, action, and result. So it's how you offer benefit to the employer. Stress your successes and accomplishments. It can include volunteer experience. And if your volunteer experience is your best experience, perhaps putting that at the top. So it's really solving their need, and your resume needs to be kind of in order of their need. NCRC, you should be putting that on your resume. It's a step in your job readiness. It was an effort to take it. We want to be proud of that. And one of the things with NCRC, Google the website, OregonNCRC.org, and get a sense of what it's all about. And especially when the employer asks about NCRC, because a lot of employers don't know about it. But in the OJT arena, every employer knows about it because it is a primary marketing tool that we use. And no errors. That's why it's nice to have multiple people reference your resume, because there's always those weird errors that the little red line or the little green line on your computer doesn't catch. So just get as many opinions as you can, but kind of keep within the boundaries.
Cover letters, important for employers as well, but not maybe as important as resumes. And usually cover letter have 3 sections. In the first section, you talk to the employer about the reason why you're writing to them. You let them know what kind of position you're interested in and where you saw advertisement for this position. In the second section, you highlight your skills, experience, and accomplishments that related to the position, and you can provide their information about on-the-job training program. And in the third section, you provide them your plan of action. What are you going to do next? And how and when you are going to contact them in the future.
The cover letter is harder, in my opinion, because it's your story of your resume. But the guidelines are on a cover letter. It's a short story. The opening, the body, the closing. Cover letters, how many pages would you say should be? It's just 1. And your body of your cover letter, the second section, could be more than 1 paragraph, but your first and your last section are going to pretty much look similar to a lot of resumes. But it is, I think, like I said, harder to put together a cover letter because it's customized, it's individual. There aren't very many examples in the books other than other people's stories. So jot down your interests, your skills, how you solve problems, how you manage stress, and think about how to incorporate that into your cover letter, referencing their job description. That will help you get started. That's who they want to hire. So tell those stories relevant to your skills in the job description.
When you're marketing yourself, you always need to send thank you notes after each interview. It's very essential that you do it after every interview. It makes you stand out and be remembered. You need to be short and simple, and you can send your thank you note electronically, and you need to send it within 24 hours. And when you go to the interview, ask your interviewer for a business card so you have their contact information, their email address, so you can send it to them.
Thank you letters should be done after the interview, and they are timely, within 1 to 2 days. And it's kind of that thought that counts. It could be emailed, it could be handwritten, it could be snail mailed.
Yeah, so just got out of interview, and the guy texted me, like, hey, appreciate
Wow.
the interview.
Yeah.
And I was like, do I text him back a thank you, or do I send him an email? I just wasn't sure if that's
Wow,
appropriate.
did you get his email address?
I had it before, but it appeared that he was quicker to look at his text than say his
Yeah.
email or voicemail.
You know, I think it's a good approach to acknowledge his text and really quick, but I would still probably add it to an email thank you. Because thank you don't have to put as much thought into a cover letter, but the thank you letter is a golden opportunity to highlight some of the things you forgot to mention in the interview. And it states how valuable you are and how eager you are for this position. So your competition's doing it, and I encourage anyone that when you hit your interview to submit a thank you letter, because it is, if nothing else, a thank you for their time to interview you and stressing your interest.
A third method would be to join a professional organization and get involved. They're all looking for programs, so maybe a presentation over time to take a leadership role. All of those methods get you in front of people so they know you and recognize your expertise.